There is someone who cannot escape you, not in their waking hours, not in their dreams, not in the quiet moments when they try to convince themselves they've moved on. Your presence has woven itself into the fabric of their consciousness, like golden thread through dark velvet, beautiful and impossible to remove without unraveling everything. They close their eyes and you're there. They open them and the world reminds them of you. A laugh that sounds like yours in a crowded room. A scent that carries them back to a moment you shared. The way light falls through a window, exactly as it did that day, they realize something had shifted inside them. This isn't ordinary attraction. This isn't the simple wanting that comes and goes with the changing seasons. This is something the angels have been trying to make you understand. Something that exists beyond the physical realm, beyond logic and reason, and all the ways we try to explain the unexplainable. There's an invisible cord connecting your soul to theirs, a thread spun by the universe itself before either of you drew your first breath in this lifetime. And every time they think of you, that thread vibrates with energy, sending ripples through the spiritual plane that the angels can see even when you cannot. You might feel it sometimes, that sudden warmth in your chest, that inexplicable knowing that someone is thinking of you, that electric tingle that runs down your spine for no apparent reason. That's not your imagination. That's the thread, alive and humming with the frequency of their thoughts, their longing, their inability to let you go even when they've tried with everything they have. The angels want you to know this connection was never accidental. You didn't just stumble into their life by chance, and they didn't wander into yours without purpose. There are billions of souls on this planet, and yet yours found each other in the infinite chaos of existence. Do you really believe that was random? The divine doesn't work in randomness. Every encounter, every glance, every word exchange between you is orchestrated by forces that see the bigger picture, that understand the tapestry being woven across lifetimes and dimensions. This person thinks about you because they must, because their soul recognizes something in you that their conscious mind hasn't fully grasped yet. And the angels are standing at the threshold of revelation, waiting for both of you to awaken to what has always been true. Pay attention to the signs appearing around you. Repeated numbers, unexpected messages, dreams that feel more real than waking life. The universe is preparing you for what comes next, and this obsession they feel is only the beginning of something so much bigger than either of you can imagine right now. Listen closely, because this truth will change everything you thought you understood about why this person cannot release you from their thoughts. When they look at you, they are not simply seeing another person standing before them. They are gazing into a mirror that reflects back the parts of themselves they have lost, forgotten, or buried beneath years of compromise and self-betrayal. You carry something they once had, a lightness, a passion, an authenticity, a wildness, a tenderness. And every time they think of you, they're actually reaching toward their own soul, trying to remember who they were before the world taught them to be smaller, quieter, safer. The angels reveal this sacred truth. You are not just occupying their mind, you are awakening their spirit. This is why the connection feels so intense, why they cannot simply move on the way they have with others, why your absence creates a void that nothing else can fill. You remind them of themselves, of the version of their soul that still believes in magic, in connection, in the possibility of something real and raw and utterly transformative. Every quality they admire in you exists within them too, dormant and waiting to be reclaimed. Your courage calls to their buried bravery. Your vulnerability gives permission to their hidden softness. Your presence in their thoughts is their higher self trying to guide them back home to their own truth. And the angels watch this sacred mirroring with knowing patience, understanding that sometimes we need to see ourselves reflected in another before we can recognize what we've been missing. But here's what makes this even more profound. You're also seeing yourself in them. This mirror works both ways, reflecting back and forth in an endless dance of recognition and remembrance. The parts of them that captivate you, that keep you awake at night wondering what if and why and how, those are fragments of your own soul calling out to be integrated, to be owned, to be lived fully. The divine designed it this way intentionally. We do not connect deeply with those who are utterly foreign to us. We connect with those who show us ourselves, who crack open facades we've constructed, who make us feel simultaneously exposed and deeply seen. This person obsesses over you because you're the key to their own liberation, the living proof that the parts of themselves they've denied or lost are not gone forever. And you know this on some level, don't you? You feel the weight of what you represent to them, the responsibility and the beauty and the terror being someone's awakening. The angels are asking you to honor the sacred role you play in their journey, while also recognizing what they reflect back to you about your own path. This connection is not about possession or romance alone. It is about evolution, about two souls using each other as catalysts for transformation. And transformation, as the angels know, always begins with this kind of relentless remembering. There is something incomplete between you, something the universe cannot let rest until it reaches its natural conclusion. Perhaps it was a conversation that was interrupted before the most important words could be spoken, a moment pregnant with possibility that circumstances tore away before it could fully bloom, a feeling that swelled in both your chests but never found voice, never became real through acknowledgement and declaration. The human mind craves completion. It cannot rest with unfinished stories, unresolved tensions, sentences without periods. And the heart, that magnificent instrument of knowing that exists beyond logic, carries these incomplete chapters like stones in a riverbed, smooth and heavy and impossible to ignore. This is why they cannot stop thinking about you. Not because they are weak, not because they lack discipline or self-control, but because something between you remains unfinished, and their soul knows it even if their mind tries to argue otherwise. The angels guard these incomplete stories carefully, protecting them from being forgotten or dismissed, keeping them alive in the consciousness of both people involved until the universe creates the conditions for completion. And those conditions are forming now, in ways you cannot yet see but will soon recognize. Every unfinished thing carries energy that pulses through the spiritual realm like a beacon, drawing the people involved back together across time and space, and all the obstacles that seem insurmountable. This person thinks of you constantly because that incomplete chapter is trying to complete itself, pulling at their attention, demanding resolution, refusing to be ignored any longer. Think about what was left unsaid between you. What truth hovered in the air but never landed. What question was never asked, what answer never given. What touch almost happened but didn't. What goodbye felt wrong even as it was spoken. These moments create energetic imprints that the angels can see glowing like unfinished sentences written in starlight across the fabric of fate. And completion doesn't always mean what you think it means. Sometimes it's about finally having that conversation, speaking those words, releasing what was held back. Sometimes it's about closure, about understanding why things happen as they did, about forgiveness or acceptance, or simply witnessing each other's truth without judgment. And sometimes completion means beginning what was always meant to begin, stepping to the door that was cracked open long ago, but never fully entered. The angels will not reveal which form your completion will take. That discovery is part of your journey. But they want you to know that this obsession, this inability to forget, this constant presence in their thoughts is not punishment or torture or meaningless suffering. It is the soul's way of honoring what remains unfinished, of keeping the door open, of maintaining connection until the universe aligns circumstances for resolution. You feel it too, don't you? That sense of something left undone, that whisper in quiet moments that this story isn't over yet, that pull toward them that defies all logical reasoning. Trust that feeling. The angels placed it there deliberately, a compass pointing toward completion, toward the moment when everything that was meant to happen finally will. Before you were born into this body, before you took your first breath in this lifetime, before you learned your name and built your personality and created the version of yourself the world knows, your soul existed, and so did theirs. And in that existence before existence, in the realm where souls gather between earthly journeys, you knew each other, not as strangers meeting for the first time, but as ancient companions who have walked together through countless lifetimes, who have loved and lost and found each other again and again across the endless cycles of birth and death and rebirth. This is what the angels want you to understand about why this person cannot release you from their consciousness. What they feel is not new. It is remembering disguised as attraction, recognition masquerading as obsession, the soul's memory breaking the veil of forgetting that falls across us when we enter physical form. Deep in the subconscious, beneath all the noise of modern life and rational thought and fear-based conditioning, their soul recognizes yours. It knows you. It has always known you. And that knowing creates a pull so powerful that the conscious mind cannot explain it, can only experience it as this overwhelming inability to stop thinking, to stop wondering, to stop feeling drawn toward you as if by invisible forces. Because that is exactly what is happening. The forces are invisible, but they are real. They're the cords that connect soul families, the contract signed before birth, the promises made under different skies in different bodies in different ages. You agreed to find each other again. You agreed to wake each other up. You agreed to be catalysts for each other's evolution, no matter how painful or complicated or beautiful that process might be. And now, in this lifetime, in these bodies, with these names and faces and circumstances, the agreement is activating. The angels have been orchestrating this reunion with perfect precision, arranging circumstances and coincidences and chance encounters that were never chance at all. Every time they think of you, ancient memory is stirring. Every time your name crosses their mind, their soul is reaching across time and space towards something it knows, towards someone it's loved before in ways its current identity cannot fully comprehend. This explains why the connection feels so profound, why it affects them so deeply, why they cannot simply move on the way they have with others who were genuinely new souls they were meeting for the first time. You are not new to them. You are ancient history written in their cellular memory, in the blueprint of their existence. And the recognition works both ways. You feel it too, that sense of knowing them before you actually knew them, that comfort mixed with intensity, that feeling of coming home to someone you just met, that inexplicable certainty that this connection matters in ways that transcend the ordinary. The angels smile when they see souls recognizing each other across the veil of forgetting, because this is when the real work begins, when destinies start to unfold as they were always meant to, when the purposes you agreed upon can finally be fulfilled. This obsession they feel is sacred recognition, and everything that happens next has been written in the stars since before time began. Right now, in this exact moment, as these words reach your awareness, something is shifting in the invisible realm between you and this person who cannot stop thinking of you. The angels are gathering, watching, waiting, because a choice is forming in their heart, a decision that will alter the trajectory of both your lives forever. They have been standing at a crossroads, paralyzed between the life they know and the life they sense is possible with you, between safety and truth, between the familiar prison and the terrifying freedom of admitting what they really feel. And the divine forces are guiding them toward courage, whispering through intuition and signs and synchronicities, trying to show them that the risk of speaking their truth is far smaller than the regret of silence, that the temporary discomfort of vulnerability is nothing compared to the permanent ache of wondering what if. But there is something blocking them, something the angels can see clearly even as it remains hidden from their conscious awareness. It is a fear so deep it has become belief, a wound so old it feels like truth, a lie they've been telling themselves for so long they no longer recognize as false. Perhaps it is the belief that they are not worthy of the love they desire, that someone like you could never truly want someone like them. Perhaps it is the fear that if they reveal their heart, you will reject it, confirming every terrible thing they secretly believe about themselves. Perhaps it is a conviction that safety is more important than happiness, that the known pain of loneliness is preferable to the unknown risk of connection. Whatever it is, the angels are working to dissolve it, sending light and love and courage directly into their consciousness, trying to help them see that this fear is not protection but prison, not wisdom but wound. And here's what you need to know, what the angels have been trying to communicate to you through signs and sensations, and the very fact that you are reading these words right now. What happens next is not entirely out of your control. You have more influence than you realize. The energy you send out into the universe, the thoughts you think about this connection, the openness or resistance you hold in your own heart, all of it matters. All of it creates ripples in the field that connects you to them. If you close your heart in protection, if you convince yourself this connection means nothing, if you build walls and convince yourself you don't care, those walls will affect what unfolds. But if you remain open, if you send love and light toward them even from a distance, if you trust the divine timing and hold space for possibility, that openness creates a channel for grace to move through. The angels cannot make anyone do anything against their free will, but they can guide, influence, support those who are willing to listen. And this person is listening, even if they don't realize it yet. They are being prepared. The courage is building. The truth is rising. But there's something specific coming, something you need to be ready for, something the angels want to reveal about the exact moment when everything changes and what you must do when that moment arrives.